What's up, everyone? I am Rebecca, and you are watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for a closet review. I'm so excited. I have not done a closet review in quite some time. I've just not really been focusing on it, but I did a video the other day and that prompted someone to purchase a closet review from my Etsy store, which we'll talk about real quick in a second. And I was so excited because I haven't done a closet review in a while. I was so looking forward to looking at her closet. I had a great time looking at her closet and identifying some things that she can work on, and I'm excited to share that with you and with her today. And it just really made me realize how much I do enjoy doing them. And I think it's because one of my strengths is being detail-oriented and really analyzing from all perspectives what is going on with a certain thing, in this case, a Poshmark closet. And so while I may not have other strengths that are used in reselling, one of the strengths I do have is being able to offer in a clear way things that a person can actually do very easily to improve their closet that they might not be thinking of. I think that's a great strength that I have to offer you, and I hope that you will take advantage of it, whether you just watch the playlist of closet reviews that I have on my channel, or you actually take the time and make an investment in your closet and purchase one from me. I would love that, and I would love to help you, but my goal really is to help you improve where I can. We all think about things differently, and it is really nice and helpful to have a new pair of eyes on something you may have been working on for quite some time. It's nice to get feedback, it's nice to have a sounding board, and that's the service that I hope to provide to you when you do purchase a closet review. So just a couple of notes. This is my Etsy store. It's now rebranded. It used to all be called the Reseller Mom Show. When I rebranded my channel, I rebranded the Etsy store as well. So it is called Rebecca the Reseller. You can find it at etsy.com/shop/Rebecca the Reseller. It's linked down below. And you can see here I have all of the tools that I've created for you, all sorts of reseller tools that I have used in my own business that I'm now making available to you, and see if that can help you as well. I've got some swag and some fun things, but a lot of just really functional tools. And so one of them is the Poshmark Closet Review, and you can purchase that for $25. It is right here. I'm in the process of actually revamping what my cover photos look like. So these are the new ones. These are the old ones. So I'm working through that, but it is there for you. It's $25. I usually run a sale, and I usually have all kinds of coupon codes and different offers running. So always check back and see what is available. I'm really excited as well to announce that I'm at 99 sales on this shop. Very exciting, and I'm waiting for my 100th sale. So will that be you? I'd love for it to be you. Go ahead and purchase your closet review, a measurements form, a listing form bundle, anything you need for your business. I would love it if it would be something that would help you. So let's go ahead and get into the closet review. Okay, so here is the closet. The person's name is Debbie. Again, thank you, Debbie, for purchasing a closet review from me. I had a great time looking through everything. I think I have some great ideas for you that can help make some improvements, and I'm very excited to get into it with you. Her closet is at pink_whisper, so go ahead and give her a follow to everyone that's watching, and go ahead and watch her closet and see how she's making some of these improvements as well. Give her a little bit of encouragement and whatever posh love you can. So let's always, as usual, start at the beginning. So I'm going to be looking at my notes, so pardon me for that. But we always start with like the closet name field and the top of the closet, the banner, all of these things that kind of make a first impression when someone clicks on your closet. So I do like that you advertise in your banner that you are a Posh ambassador. I think that's great. It's important to let people know that you have a little bit of a track record that gives them customer confidence. If you're interested in learning more about customer confidence, I do have a video on that, just aired last week or earlier this week, and that is available on my channel, and I will link to it down below. Now, the one thing I do recommend, and you have your name as Debbie Star Posh Flower Ambassador, I do recommend that you can start the name field with an exclamation point, because that can bring you up higher in the alphabetical listing of followers. And so when people go on follow sprees, they just kind of click down and follow, follow, follow. When you show up at the top, you have better chances that someone's going to actually click on your name, and having an exclamation point or a box or a number of those things can help get you to the top. So you can see, like on my closet on my rack, what I'm doing now, it's with a box. A lot of people do exclamation points. You can find any of those things just by looking at other closets as examples. Now, the banner, again, as I said, does look good. The one thing that I would say is, for me, it's a little busy. It could be more clean, more clear, but other than that, I think that's just a personal preference and my thought. So you don't have to change anything. I would say here in your line, you also mention Posh Ambassador again, but they can see it here. They can see it in your name. And so you can use this info line to just add some additional buyer confidence building words like how many items you've sold, how long you've been on Poshmark, what your shipping time is if you ship same day, which we'll get into that in a second. You can put ship same or next day, 1,000 items sold, 300 items sold, whatever amount you've sold, you can include that there. That's what I do in my closet. Now, your avatar, I love that you have it as your personal picture. You look great in it, very smiley, very warm, very inviting. They know who you are now. And so I think that that's perfect. And for people that are watching, if you have a person picture, make sure it's a good person picture. If not, do a logo or do a rack of clothes or do something general that has to do with clothing or fashion. That way it's a presentable, positive image and not a poor picture that's kind of like a negative. Next up is the listings and shares and followers. So you got 128 listings. That's great. That kind of prompted me to take a little bit more of a look into your about area, which we'll get into in a second. But 128 listings is a great start. I know you're a relatively new Posher, so I think that that's great. Obviously, the more listings you have, the more chances you have to make sales on a daily basis. My recommendation for people as a starting point, if you're looking to try to sell 5 items a day, you need to at least be listing 5 items a day, if not 10. And so, everybody's sell-through rate is going to be different and it's going to vary from time to time. So I just, as a general rule, you can't always expect to get 10 sales a day if you're only listing 3 items a day. It's possible, that could happen. But as a general rule, if you want to get 5 sales a day, I think you should be listing at least 5 items a day. I think that's just a good, simple rule. Again, the math doesn't always work out, but it's a good, simple rule to follow. So that would be my recommendation, is to identify based on your average sale price, how many listings you want to be putting up based on how many listings you want to be selling, reverse engineering that back to how much you're interested in making, and that will be kind of your listing goal. As far as shares, you've got 5,000 shares. I know that kind of just puts you at the limit for the criteria for Posh Ambassador. I'm pretty sure it's 5,000 shares, so good job that you obviously got to that point. I don't know how much effort you're putting into it. My recommendation is, when you're new, if you have time, making community shares part of your routine isn't a bad thing, but it shouldn't be a priority and you shouldn't be killing yourself to do it. You should be prioritizing your self shares first and your listings first, and then if you have time, go ahead and do some community shares just for extra exposure for, followers and share backs. Now you've got about 12,000 that you're following, 8,000 following you. I think that's a good ratio. That means you have been doing some following and you've been getting some results from that. You're going to get followers over time. So I would have following efforts as kind of like a last resort. You should be focusing on making improvements to your closet, focus on new listings, focus on self shares, and possibly relisting when the time comes. Once those things are accounted for and you've exhausted that, then you can look into doing following or community shares. I do have a whole video just on how to increase your follower count and all of the tactics that I use to find new and different followers. So be sure to check out that video. I'll link it below. But if you have time and you're just wanting to kill some time, wanting to veg out and watch Netflix or something like that, like, go ahead and follow people. I think the biggest bang for your buck is at new followers, like new Poshers on the app. I think that is where the most bang for your buck is as far as going and following people. Now, in the about area, it showed here, and this is morning time now, so you were probably active last night, but you were last active when I checked before and when I'm looking now within a reasonable amount of time. So being active on the app is important, so that's great, gives your buyers confidence. Your average ship time is 1 day, so that's awesome. Keep that up. That will pay off over time in case you ever are late in getting a shipment out or want to be on vacation and leave your store open. Having a low ship time now and building up that over an average of sales over time and having a long selling history will pay off later. So I think that is great. And oh, here's where I wanted to mention. So Posher since March of 2020. I can't believe it. You've only been poshing for like 2 months. I think this is awesome. You are in such a great spot, such a good position to be getting started with all of these tips and tricks now. And I feel like I have something on my face. Getting started with all of these tips and tricks now, like buying a closet review and recognizing like I'm only been doing this for 2 months, but I want to do a really good job with it. So I want to get as much feedback as I can and make all these improvements early on. That's going to set you up for so much success as you go forward. I think it's amazing. So 128 listings, already Posh Ambassador, only 2 months being on the app, like fantastic. Good for you. I think that is amazing. Okay, so let's go back to, I feel like I have something on my face. Sorry. So I love talking about closet signs because I think that they really can serve a great purpose, and everyone has different opinions on them. There's lots of different closet signs out there, and I think you've got some really good things that you've done and that you can also work on. So it's a good example. So you do have a few closet signs, and I think that that's great. It's good that you're doing that. Because this is a great opportunity to communicate different things about your closet to your buyer, to build customer confidence, to let them know about things going on, and hopefully increase sales. I don't think you should have more than like 2 or 3 closet signs, and I don't always even necessarily think they should all be at the top. You can kind of sprinkle them throughout your listing so that as they're scrolling, they find them. But a sale or a closet bookmark, which we'll talk about, I think is good to be up front. So you have this dress sale, which we're going to talk about. You have this bundle offer one that we're going to talk about. And then all the way down, because this one was up at the top yesterday, and that's why I want to talk about it. So this was the second closet sign that I saw yesterday when I was reviewing this. And so my thought initially was, reasonable offers always welcome. I'm glad you're addressing offers. I'm glad you're saying that offers are welcome, but I really had trouble with the reasonable part. I kind of felt like that was off-putting. I feel like, because then it says, make me a reasonable offer, exclamation point. Like, I get what you're trying to do. In my opinion, I think either offers are welcome or they're not. I don't think reasonable offers are welcome and not reasonable offers aren't welcome, because that's so subjective. Like, what you think is reasonable and what someone else thinks is reasonable are two different things. And I feel like you're the professional seller here. So you should make the buyer feel as welcome as possible to send you an offer so they can buy your stuff. And so saying reasonable, again, in my opinion, I think is a bit much. And so I would not do that. So you can keep the sign, but I think you should change the words and just say offers always welcome. I think that is the most inviting. And I think if you think that that's going to open you up to lowball offers, you need to kind of work on that within yourself. And I know there are a lot of people that get super crazy about offers and lowball offers and all of that, but you're the seller. And whether you are a professional or not, that's, whatever you want to do, you're a hobby person, whatever, but you're the seller. And so it's the buyer's prerogative to offer you whatever they want. And it's up to you to be a big boy and a big girl and a professional to address that offer however you want according to your business model. It is your business, it's your choice. But you don't need to get so crazy about it. You don't need to take it personally. You don't need to get all crazy. Just counter back. That's it. If the sale works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You didn't have the sale to begin with. You can only go up from there. I think you just need to have, and I'm not saying that you do all this, I'm kind of speaking about it in general now. I think that everyone needs to kind of take a deep breath when it comes to offers. And just because someone makes you a lowball offer doesn't mean you need to take it. And you can counter back. I don't think you should decline, but you certainly could decline. And I think everybody would save themselves a lot of heartache and stress and aggravation if they just countered the offer and went on with it. So anyway, going back to the reasonable offers, I don't think you should say reasonable. That's just my opinion. I do like this fast shipping sign. I think that's great. I didn't click in to see what all it says in there, but I think fast shipping is fine. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's fine. Then I liked this sign, add your likes to a bundle and I'll send you my best offer. I think that's great. So I'm much happier that you have this at the top of your closet than the other one. If you want to keep the other one, I think you should take reasonable out or just get rid of it altogether. But I think this is fine too. As far as the dress sale, I think that's great. It's great to run different promotions. I do want to let you know and take this time to let everyone else know that I started a free Facebook group called Poshmark deals. I'll have it linked down below. It's either Poshmark deals and sales or Poshmark sales and deals. I forget what I called it, but it's where any seller can go ahead and post any sale sign. So just like this, you could post the link to this sign, your dress sale, and get that promoted. And then any buyers can go there to check and see what closets are running sales. So it's a great place for people to meet up as far as your sales go. So buyers can come and see all the sales, sellers can promote all their sales, and it's free and anybody can join. And I recommend that to all of you, and I do have the link down below. I do think, though, that you should have a bookmark sign, a closet bookmark sign. I have one in my closet. There's a link to it in your summary here, just to have general information about your closet, and that way someone can like it to bookmark it, because your sale may come and go. You may change your mind about bundles. They may change something with bundles and you remove that sign, but your closet's always your closet, and you should always have a closet bookmark sign, in my opinion. And I do have a video on how I've created some signs with the Over app and Typorama, so that is linked down below as well. So there's a little bit that you can do there. Make a closet bookmark sign, put your promotion for your dress sale in the Facebook group, and revise your offer sign. I'm just trying to think. The only other thing I would say is that they all look a little bit different, your signs, and so perhaps you may want to give a little thought to like branding for your closet. And it doesn't mean that you have to get all crazy, but you may just pick 2 or 3 colors and 2 or 3 fonts and a style of photograph that you would want to include. And so maybe you use the same photograph for every sign. You use the same 2 or 3 fonts for every sign, the same 2 or 3 colors for every sign, just so it gives a cohesive look. That's completely up to you, but that would be my recommendation. I'm starting to do that in my closet as well. Moving on, that was a lot on signs. To a product mix, brand and size. So overall, you have some great basic bread and butter brands. I always recommend to people that you should try to source some higher end items and some home run items. I know that you've got Lovers and Friends, you've got J. Crew, you have some Victoria's Secret, you do have some popular brands, but I felt like in scrolling through, the overall feeling that I got was that they were more skewed on the lower end kind of mall brands, house brands of department stores, Kohl's brands, those types of things. And while there are people that look for those, and while those can sell, I do think that bread and butter, popular mall brands like the J. Crew and those types, White House Black Market perhaps, not even really Gap. I don't really do too much with Gap, but like those go to my closet and see the types of brands that I'm selling in the, $15 to $25 price point. Like that's kind of where the low price point could be. And then you can move up from there with the higher end ones. I don't want to give, a whole list of brands, because by the time someone watches this video, different things can change. So I try to stay away from that. But, your Anthropologie, your J. Crew, your Madewell, like those things are good to go for right now at the time of recording this video. And so as far as brands go, it's hard for me to really give recommendations because I don't know what you can find. I don't know what's in your area or within your business model or your price point, but I just noticed an overwhelming amount of the house department store brands, the lower end brands. And so I think a better mix overall would be good. Doesn't mean you don't have to have those, you can, but I think a better mix of more types of variety of brands will continue to help your closet grow and bring in additional people, maybe create some bundles, things like that. Let's see. Challenge yourself to find the higher end brands that can sell for over $50. I always kind of mention that to people because I did not see too many items at that very high end price point. And so that's something that you can always use as a way to challenge yourself, both in sourcing and in listing to grow. There are sizes. I didn't see a lot of plus sizes. That may be a personal, purposeful business choice that you don't want to carry plus sizes. I will say plus sizes are a great seller, can be a great seller. Brands like Torrid, brands like eShakti, brands like Eloquii, brands like City Chic. Those are brands that I usually go to kind of bring in the plus sizes. The plus size swimsuit market as we get into summer would be great. So if you can find some things in there, that might help you get moving with sales as well. product mix for item type and style. I think overall you have a lot of casual items, and so you might want to consider some career focused items or more dressy items. Perhaps that's not what you'd like to do. Perhaps that was a purposeful decision, but again, just kind of letting you know, like overwhelming, I kind of felt more casual, didn't see as many career or dressy items. That may be areas that you can focus into. And then in general, in my opinion, I felt that there were some dated styles. And so I think researching brands as well as trending styles can be helpful to your growth as well, especially on Poshmark. This is something I even struggle with. I'm getting a lot better at it. But again, I do feel like my closet's large enough at this point to where I have a lot of everything. So even though I do have the dated stuff and I'm working to kind of get rid of those, I do have a lot of current styles and hitting the right price points that are moving fast in my closet. And those are the right things, the Everlane, the high waist, all of that stuff. So I feel like if you just kind of start moving in a direction of including more trendy pieces, more things that are hitting on the right style points, and then at the right price point, you'll see a lot more faster, quicker, more frequent sales that will help you build your closet overall. I didn't notice any prohibited items, so that is good. And I think in general, I think your photos look great. They're nice and bright. You've got the mannequin, you did your best to put it in an area of your home where it's clean and clear. Obviously, it's near a door in a lot of these, but that's fine. You're doing the best you can. You're brand new. If you at some point would like to level up your closet in your photos, maybe you can find a wall in your house that is clear so that you could put the mannequin against a clear space on a wall rather than in front of the door, just to kind of make a little less distraction. You can invest in photo paper as a backdrop. I have a video on that if you want to learn more about that, to make a clear space on any kind of wall. So I don't think you have to. I think it looks great, but it's a thought. If you do want to continue further leveling up, that would be my next recommendation, is to put it on a clean and clear wall without any door behind it. Be careful when you edit your photos. You might be editing your photos, I'm not sure, that it doesn't wash out the color. There were a couple items where I was like, this might be a little bit overwashed, or I don't know all the technical terms of, contrast and brightness and everything, but it looks like it's a little washed out as far as the color of the item. You don't want to accidentally misrepresent your item's color by just over editing the photo. So it's just something to think about. And then as far as the presentation, I already said the mannequin. You do have some that are hanging. I think it all looks good. I don't think you have to change anything, just if you wanted to level up by having the clear backdrop. The lighting looks good. Talked about the photo editor. Sorry, I'm going through my notes because everything I want to be very detailed when you read it, but at the same time, I also want to go over it verbally as well. Okay, so there were, I don't know which item it was, and there's one item that I want to talk about specifically, so I don't want to move where I'm at. But there was one item for sure that I noticed where you took pictures of the tag, which is great. It's definitely one of my recommendations. And now the new update to Poshmark is that you get 16 photos, which is amazing. And so before it used to be 8. And so when you had more than 8 photos, you'd have to do like a photo collage in order to put all those photos in there. And I usually do that with the tags. And so I make a photo collage of the tags and include it as one photo, but it shows basically 4 photos is what I would do. And now we don't have to, because now they give you 16 photos as one of the new updates. So everyone has no excuse now to be putting in lots of pictures. This is going to increase buyer confidence, and you are doing that. You're doing the front, you're doing the back, you're doing details, you're doing, up close shots, you're doing tag pictures. So you're doing great on all of that. What I did notice is that the tags were a little far away. You could zoom in on the tag a little bit more to make it easier to read for your buyer. And they were also, in the one that I saw, rotated. So like it was sideways. So the person would have to tilt their head in order to read the tag. And that's just not a good buyer experience, in my opinion. It's a little thing, but it's something you could easily fix to just make it a little bit easier for the person to read the tag and then zoom in so they could really see what it says a little bit better. So that's my thought on that. I thought overall your pricing was good. There are a few things that were a little high price for a lower end item, I thought, but it does give you wiggle room to make offers, send offers to likers, to accept offers, to drop it for closet clear out. So in general, I didn't think your pricing was too crazy. Titles overall were strong. I thought you had good keywords, good order, kind of hitting all the major points. One thing I would say is that your description is good, but I do think that there are a couple things that we can tweak, and I want to make sure I don't skip any. So, okay. I think you can add some additional keywords in the description. Obviously, the title is limited, and so it is what it is. And the one I wanted to talk about specifically was this Vesty Women's Pink and Black Animal Print Cardigan. So for a title, that's fine. But when you click into it, I think here is where we have some opportunity. So this is an open front cardigan. I don't see that listed anywhere in your description. I think that would have been the first thing that I do, is list it as open front. You can put knit, you can put long line, you can put, I'm sure, other things, perhaps beige or cream as the colors, because you're calling it pink and black up here, and then here you have it as pink and white. But to me, it looks like, I don't know for sure, this color here is more like the white, and then this color here is more like a cream or a beige. So I just try to add additional color keywords that people may be searching for, and then other words that you can't fit in your title that are not covered by the categories that people may be searching for. So someone may search open front cardigan, someone may search long line cardigan, someone may search cheetah or leopard or whatever. So there's just some additional keywords that can be added that would increase your search visibility and have this item come up more times for more searches, and that would give you more at bats, more chances to sell this item to more people. So definitely, utilize that point, go back through your listings when you can, and just try to see what other keywords you can be adding in that would increase the search visibility. The other thing is, here you have like new, and then no stains or tears. Condition is hard. I say excellent pre-owned condition, no flaws. And then if there are flaws, I list out the flaws. I don't say like new ever. I think that can open me up to issues with the potential buyer. So I just say excellent pre-owned condition if it's not new with tags. Because like new to you, like new to some, I don't know. I feel like it's a little subjective. So I just have the same line that I put on all listings, which would be excellent pre-owned condition with no flaws. And then if there are flaws, I list them out. And if it's brand new with tags, I list it as brand new with tags. So that may be something that you might want to do, just to be very clear on your descriptions as far as item condition, and to keep it consistent across all of your items, because they may be looking at other items, say, well, she said this one was great condition, she said this one was like new condition, and then I don't really have a clear picture of what to expect of that item. I don't mention non-smoking. I know some people say, no pets and no smoking and all that stuff. I don't go there. I don't want to bring that into their mind at all. So I don't talk about it. I think it's fine if you want to. You may want to include it in a line, which I noticed, and just to give you kudos, one of the other listings, you might have watched that buyer video that I did, the Boost Buyer Confidence video the other day, because when I searched for just in, one of the newer items, here you put professional seller, Poshmark ambassador, ship same next day, offers welcome, bundle and save. So those are some of the recommendations that I made in my recent video, Boost Buyer Confidence and Help Increase Sales. And I was so excited to see you put that in there. I think that's so great. Thank you for thinking that it was a valid nugget of information and for adding it to your new listings. I think, one, it made me happy. So I appreciate it. Two, I think it will definitely help you. And three, I think it's great that you watched a video and immediately took action and started to include those things in your listings. I think that's the whole reason why YouTube exists, and the whole reason why resellers are watching reseller content is to learn, but sometimes people don't act on it. And I thought, I only just recently put out that video and right away you're acting on it, and you bought a closet review and you're gonna act on all of these tips. I know it, and I just think it's really great. So congratulations to you. Sorry. So, I lost my place. Boost buyer confidence, condition. Oh, hello. Okay, so measurements. What's going on here, Debbie? So I didn't see any measurements in most of the listings that I looked at. I did see some questions about measurements, and then I did see that you provided answers to them, but I am a big believer, and maybe I will change my tune on this, but right now I think you need to put measurements. I think it boosts customer confidence. I think it alleviates questions. I think it saves time overall if you just do it on the front end and move on than having to go back and deal with it later. I think it helps you out with regard to like a buyer opening a case or wanting to return an item or saying it wasn't as described or something like that. I just think there are so many ways that doing the measurements up front really does kind of save your behind later. And so one of my big priorities and recommendations for you is, while your inventory is small, perhaps you may want to go back and measure things, or at least put into place going forward, I'm going to measure all my items and include those measurements in the listings. I think it can only help you. I don't think it can hurt you, other than it takes a little bit of time. Trust me, I hate doing it. I hate doing measurements so much, but I recognize how important it is. And even if the buyer doesn't actually check the garment that they have and then check that the measurements are going to work, and they just go off of the fact that you said it was an extra large because that's what the tag says and they normally wear an extra large, I think it just gives buyers a little bit of peace of mind knowing that you measured it and that it is relatively within the realm of what they're looking for and that it would potentially fit them. So that's my opinion. That's my soapbox. I think you should do measurements. You don't want to go back and measure everything from before. That's fine. But I would at least put into practice measuring going forward. Big think on that. Big thing on that. Yes. So the buyer customer confidence line at the end. I loved that. I hear Gio. Oh, and then it does look like you frequently share your items. Now, it's morning time, so you probably shared last night, like let's say to the party or whatever before you went to bed. So, and I'm not sure where in the country, where are you in the country? So obviously you haven't done your morning share yet, but let's see where you're at. Oh, California. Okay. So yeah, so you're not even up yet. It's 8:41 here on the East Coast as I'm recording this, and so you're not up yet. But what I will say is that you might want to just look at what your sharing schedule is and how you can help accommodate, both the East Coast and the West Coast where possible. It doesn't mean get up at the butt crack of dawn to do your sharing, unless you want to maybe invest in a virtual assistant or someone to help you share so that you could hit the early time frame. I share at 7 a.m. Eastern. I try to do some shares at 11 a.m. Eastern. I share right about 2 p.m. when Gio's going to nap Eastern. If I can do a few shares, like while I'm making dinner or whatever, around like 6 o'clock, 5 and 6 o'clock. And then I do, again, shares in the evening time before I fall asleep on the couch because I get up so early in the morning. So I miss out on the evening time because I'm half sleeping. But I always hit the early time. And I do think that, if you can share at least 3 to 5 times a day, especially because your closet is smaller now, it would be easier to just blink through many times a day. That just gets your items up in search more and higher in search. And so I think if you can try to get an earlier share in, you may catch those early buyers. People look at Poshmark first thing in the morning, and I think that you can capitalize on that and make some early morning sales, and that would kind of start your closet off in a good way for the day and your mood off for the day. So that's just my thought. I feel like the morning time is a good time for buyers to be buying, and so that's why I always make sure to have a 7 a.m. Eastern share. Again, I know that would be hard for you, but if you hire someone to help you with just that, it won't cost you very much. Maybe not something that you need to do right now because you're still kind of getting going with it, but maybe in the future it would be something to think about. Okay. I didn't notice any unanswered questions. It looks like any of the items that I checked, you did answer everyone's questions and nicely and professionally, so I don't have any comments about that. But for those that are watching, if you're not answering your questions or you're not doing a nice job answering your questions, you may want to consider that because I think it's a very good opportunity to build buyer confidence. I did notice the measurements question, and you did answer that, so that's good, but another reason why you should think about including those. You've got a bundle discount, you've got it at 15% off too, which is great. I do 20% off too, personal preference, whatever you'd like. I think 15 is fine, you don't need to change that. So just kind of final impressions. I think overall, your closet is great for being a new posher. Like, I was like, wow. So I don't know if this is your first closet, or maybe you made a new closet, or you already kind of knew about it, or you've just been watching a lot of reseller content. I mean, I'm just thoroughly impressed with how far along you are being so new in your account. But I do think focusing on a system to make an ideal listing and hitting a lot of those keywords and having the condition presented well and having the measurements in there and having those buyer confidence notes at the end about being a professional seller and all of that, if you can get that listing template under control, I think that will help you, save you time and help you as you decide to maybe list more items and as your inventory grows. And then I think that taking a look at your signs and perhaps branding is an area to focus on. And the photos are good. You don't really need to do anything on that. And usually that's where most people kind of get tripped up. So I think searchable keywords is really going to make a difference in your sales. Measurements, I think, would be the next thing. And then just kind of getting into a routine. You know, obviously just doing a closet review, I can't tell what you're doing and not doing as far as your Poshmark routine throughout the day. But anything that you can do to create a good routine for yourself, I think is just only going to help you overall. And then I included some resources in your summary here with some links to some additional videos you may want to look at. And I have an overall cover sheet that you're going to be getting with your review that's got links to like all kinds of other resources, other things, like just so much stuff that I could pack in there for you just to give you everything all in one place. So thank you, Debbie, for purchasing a closet review. I really enjoyed doing it. I hope that you can, act on some of these things and that they will start bringing you sales. I really think you're in a great position. And I think for those that are watching, I hope that you would consider getting a closet review for yourself. I would love to help you and love to give you some ideas to improve. And if you can't make that investment right now, I completely understand. And hopefully just watching some of the closet reviews that I've done for other people will give you some ideas. But if you're just looking at your closet and you're not really sure what to identify as the issue and just want to get a person to give fresh eyes to it, I would love to be that person and help you out as best I can. Again, I do think that's one of the areas where I can be very helpful to people. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Debbie, for purchasing. I do appreciate it. I wish you all the best, all the sales, all the things, and I look forward to seeing everyone on the next video. Bye.